You're welcome back to the channel. So today we are recreating this beautiful masterpiece for a client, and I have some of my measurements already inserted on my pattern paper. This is my shoulder line, this is the bust point line, this is my under bust point line, this is the half length, and this is going to be the length of the basque. So the first thing I need to do is to get half of my shoulder measurements, which is about 7 inches for my client. Then the neck width we're using is 2.5 inches because it's a turtleneck. Then the neck depth we're using is the same thing, 2.5 inches. So I'm going to make a curve to connect these 2 points together. Then the next thing is to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope and connect the 2 points together. So I'm going to take half of my armhole measurement here, which is about 7 inches. Then on this spot, I'm going to take half of my shoulder measurement, which is 7. Then my bust circumference divided by 4. So this is what we have. Then I'm going to connect these 2 points together. Next is to get the midpoint. Then from the midpoint, I'm going to come in here by 1 inch. Then I'm going to make a curve over here. So next is to get half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is about 3.5 inches. Then I'm going to reduce half inch from what I have here. So this is about 3 inches. Then I'm going to mark 3 inches all the way down. Then I'm connecting. Then from this point, I'm going to mark 2 inches and square a line. So next is to come down here by half an inch. Then I'm going to go up by half an inch. Then I'm going to make a curve to connect to the bust point. So at this point, I'm going to get half of my shoulder line. Then I'm going to connect all the way. Then just make this place to, curve a little bit. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to insert my bust dart, and to do that, I'm going to get my bust circumference divided by 4. Then from there, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. That is the difference between the back half length and the front half length. Then I'm going to connect to the bust point line. You can stop before the bust point line, maybe 1 inch or half inch before the bust point line, whichever one you want to. Then after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to determine how exposed I want the cleavage to be. So I'm using 2.5 inches. This is 2.5 inches. So for my bust tightening, over bust tightening, I'm using 0.75 inch here and 0.75 inches here, making a total of 1.5 inches. Then I'm going to go ahead and make a curve there. Remember that we came up here by half an inch, so I'm going to connect to that half an inch to make it curvy a bit. Then I'm also going to connect to this point. Just try and blend up this part. Okay. Alright, so this is what we have for our over bust. Then this is kind of 2 in 1. Okay, so it has the yoke and the cup, and the yoke is kind of covering the cup. Okay, so we'll draft the two using this same pattern. So from the bust point, you can come up here by 1 inch depending on how exposed you want it. Okay, so I'm going to connect to this particular point, then you connect, then at this point you come down by 1 inch. From the armhole you come down by 1 inch, then you make a curve. Alright, so at this point from your bust point line, you come down by 1.5 inches or 2 inches depending on how curvy you want your under bust area to be. Then you make a curve. Then from here you can just go up by 0.75 inches and make a slight curve. Then once you're done with that, the next thing you do is to take your measurement. So the waist measurement we are working on is 28 inches, and when divided by 4 we have 7 inches. So we have 7 inches, and we're going to impute these 2 inches we took out for that. We're replacing it here. So once we are done with that, the next thing I'm going to do is to close up this part and make a very nice curve there for the bust. So the next thing I'm going to do is to make a curve over here, just a very nice curve. Okay, then once I'm done with that, I'm going to split this part open. Then it's going to enable me to fold in this particular place in order to get a very nice curve over there. Alright, so I'm going to connect the waist to the armhole area. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut out this part. Alright, so after cutting out, this is what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and tape these two ends together. Alright, so after joining it, this is what we have. So I'm going to transfer this pattern that we have here to another piece. So I'm going to transfer it this way. Alright, so I used my pin to secure these two parts, and I had to close up this breast dart. So once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is to reconnect this dart area. Alright, so after cutting it out, this is what we have. Alright, so this is going to be on a net. Then I'll cut out this. So I'm going to insert a clip on how you can join these two pieces together, and remember to also notch this area. Okay, so this is where my marker started. Notch this area, and you have to go ahead and pleat it, okay, so that it will give the bust area that curvy effect. Alright, so this is exactly what I have here. This is for the center front. I had to fold it to cut it out, and this is what we have here. Then I have this side, okay, which I used to cut out this, and I went ahead to iron it, and that is what we have here. Alright, so for the underbust corset, this is what we have. I had to make it unfold, and I went ahead to cut out the fabric. This is what we have, and I created multiple channels of boning, and I attached Regling boning to it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to add the yoke to the bust here. So this is actually the pattern for the yoke, and I had to fold it into two in order to cut out the yoke, which I'll be adding to the bust here. This is what we have. So I'm going to get my bustier and place underneath it, and I'm going to make, you see this notch that I put here for my darts, I'm going to just pleat it just like this. I'm going to pleat this place and pleat this other place in order to allow it curve, and I'm going to just stitch on it and get back to you. Alright, so basically this is how it is. So I'm going to go ahead and top stitch on it. Then I'm going to use the lining to turn this bustier side. I'm going to turn it inside out to have neat finishing, okay? Alright, so after plating, this is what we have. So I went ahead to notch this center, as you can see, okay, the midpoint. Then I also notched this area so I can be able to, you know, fix it together. So I'm going to turn it this way and fix right side facing each other. Then I'm going to stitch all the way to the end and fix all the way to the end. Once I'm done, I'll fix the lining of this particular one, then cover up. Then I will use the lining of this one to cover up the seam here so that it won't be visible. Okay, so let me do that off camera. Alright, so for the back bodice, she needs a zipper, so I have my zipper allowance here. We have our shoulder line, we have the half length, which is about 17 inches, 1 inch shorter than the front half length. Then I have half of my shoulder measurement, which is about 7 inches. Then I have my neck width, which is about 2.5, with the same thing we used for the back. Then for the back neck depth, we are using just half an inch. So I'm going to connect, maybe you can just do it with your free hand. Alright, so I'm going to come down here by 1 inch. Then for the armhole, get half of your armhole measurement, and that is what I have here. Then this is my half of my shoulder measurement, and this is her bust circumference divided by 4. So I'm going to connect the points together in order to get my armhole curve. Alright, so I'm going to just go ahead and make a very nice curve over there. So I want a kind of a stylish back neckline, so I'm going to have an opening somewhere here. Maybe I'll have like 2 inches here because I'm going to have 2 buttonhole. Okay, so I'm going to connect it all the way to the armhole area. So let me go ahead and make a curve. So at this point, the next thing I'm going to do is to get my dart measurement. We are using that of 4 inches. So this is 4 inches, and I'm going to take it up to this part. For the dart leg, we are using total of 1 inch, half inch on both sides. Then I'm going to connect to the top. The next thing I'm going to do, you can go ahead and extend this line. The next thing is that we're going to come in here by 1 inch in order to avoid back bulge. So from here, I'm going to take my waist measurement, which is about 7 inches. My waist measurement divided by 4. Then I'm going to replace this 1 inch we took out for that. So this is currently what we have. Then this, I'm going to connect this all the way to the chest line. Then this particular place, I'm going to connect it to the chest line too. So this line we're no longer making use of it. So this becomes our new zipper line. So the next thing is to connect these 2 points together and cut out what we have. So just remember to label what you have so that you won't make mistake. Then because I'm going to attach buttonhole, I'm going to reduce this. So it's going to be from here. Okay, so let me go ahead and cut out what we have so you can see. So I'm going to add up, so we have the dot area, and I'm going to, okay, I've already labeled this to be the zipper. This is the up. So let me go ahead and cut it out and get back to you. Alright, so after drafting the back bodice, this is what we have. So I'm going to get the neck area and join the two parts together because we're going to be imputing a turtleneck to the neck area. So I'm going to hold down these two parts with my tape in order to take the neck circumference. Alright, so after holding down the two parts together, we are going to go ahead to measure the neck circumference in order to cut out the turtleneck area. So after getting my measurement, what I have is about 7 inches. So I'm going to get another pattern in order to cut that area. So what it means is that the total neck circumference is 14 inches because we just measured half. Okay, this is just like from the center front to the center back, so you need like 2 pieces, one here and one the other side. So I'm going to fold my pattern into 2 in order to cover the whole measurement. So I'm going to take half of it, which is about 7 inches, and I'm going to mark 7 inches here. Then from here I'm going to go up by 2 inches. Then I'm going to make a curve. Then from here you determine how high you want your neckline to be, but just go ahead and remeasure what you have here to make sure that you don't have excess. So this is where my 7 inches ended. Then you can just go ahead and make a straight line. Then from here you determine how high you want your collar neckline to be. So for the height of my collar, I'm using 1.25 inches. So I'm going to mark 1.25 inches all the way. Then I'm going to use the same curve to connect it. Alright, so at this point you can come in here by maybe 0.25 inches to make this place kind of tight a bit. Then you go ahead and cut out what you have. Alright, so this is for the turtleneck design, and you can go ahead and label the downside. Then this place is going to be the upside so that you won't have any confusion when trying to insert it on your neckline. Alright, so that's it for the end of this tutorial. So thank you for watching. If you find it helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.